Hi everyone, I thought I'd do a container tour of the back patio. So this is the end of the season, so bear that in mind, but I wanted to keep a video diary just so I remember for next year what I did with the containers and what I can repeat, what looks good, what doesn't. So this is the back patio, which it's about mid-afternoon, just afternoon right now. Most of the time this is in morning shade and then afternoon sun. So it's great because it faces west here and we get amazing sunsets. The sky like turns to this great pink, purple, orange colors. So it's a great place to sit. In the morning in the summer, it's pretty shaded and cool. So I usually have my tea out here in the morning and then enjoy the sunsets in the evening. So first planter is this evergreen interest that stays here all winter. Is a Hinoki cypress in this planter. I've got it underplanted with annuals, so we'll take a closer look. Here we go. That's a floss flower ageratum, which I love, and there's a red verbena behind it. It was supposed to be purple and white, but the verbena wasn't in bloom when I bought it in a 6-pack, so it turned out red, which is fine. I don't mind. This is a Bermuda beech, which actually I didn't do a good job planting, as you can see, so it kind of didn't take off, but that's my fault. There's a couple of impatiens in here which aren't out of bloom right now, but I probably didn't water this enough, to be honest. And we have some, I believe it's pansies that are just popping up, reseeding themselves. They've been here a couple years ago and they just come in up and they're welcome addition. And I think they're also called Johnny Jump Ups. This disaster of a plant here, this is actually chives. So these were in the garden, and what happened is we needed somewhere to put them. So my brother-in-law just plopped them in this plant and we just stuck them here, and they've been blooming in this spot ever since. And nobody knows where to put these, so we just left them here, and no one's ever changed the soil. No one ever waters this poor guy, but the chives they just keep on coming. You can see the 2 buds there. And yeah, they're surviving, so yeah, we'll just leave them be. Now just turning over, we can take a long view. So this patio is partly covered, so you can see it's partially covered and then partially uncovered. So the next planter is at this little seating area over here. We've got these 2 blue planters, so we can take a look at that. So this planter has impatiens and white verbena, and they were doing really well. So bear in mind, end of season, they are looking a little bit tattered right now. Kind of dropped off the watering, fertilizing. We had a bit of a heat wave, so probably could be cut back, but in the height of the season, they were really looking amazing. And over here we have, it's a sister, not a twin. I don't like doing matchy-matchy, so there's asymmetry here, which I like. So this planter has a juncus, I think it's called, and it's I love the color, I like the texture, I like the spike, the vertical element, it looks great. It's underplanted with verbena. This is the purple one, that's what the other one was supposed to be instead of red. So this purple color, and then there's impatiens under there that are out of bloom right now. And there is also this plant here, I think it's a what's it called? Calibrachoa. Really nice. It was more in bloom before, but like I said, end of season. This planter here, it's a smaller pot, and it's got lobelia, which I love. That's a trailing element, the blue, beautiful blue flower with some white tinging. Isn't that gorgeous? Anyways, this red verbena was supposed to be purple, but it turned out red. I'm not the type that's gonna pull it out, so I just enjoyed it. Enjoyed what it was. Happy accident. And then these, I believe, are also Calibrachoa because they look a little bit too small to be petunias. This whole planter was very, very floriferous. Like, it's kind of doesn't look great now, but it was great. So something I'll repeat, probably with the different verbena and maybe with a thriller next time. But it's good to know what works and what doesn't. Above here, I've got my edible railer plantings. So I've got lots of basil, which basil. So you can never have too much basil. And I think there are 2 different varieties or 3 different varieties, but I've already made pesto once and I've used the basil, you know, as much as possible. And
like I said, you can never have too much. And here I have, I believe it's thyme. So I don't really cook with thyme. So if you have any ideas on how to use this, if you're a vegetarian, maybe dry it. But I just love having it anyways for the, you know, the aroma, the texture, the look. It's nice. And then here's oregano. It's blooming, which I don't mind. Again, I don't really use it. I just like to have it on hand in part of this edible container. So it's blooming. There's white flowers, which I don't mind. They look really nice and they smell amazing. So again, you can see where I've used the basil, and then here's mint in the middle. So this mint, it's actually starting to kind of bloom now. Let me find this. Take a closer look. There, that's the bloom that's coming. This basil smell, or sorry, not basil, this mint, it smells amazing. And my mom uses it. This is actually my mom's house we're at now. She uses it for mint chutney. So yeah, win-win, mint chutney. Who doesn't like that? More basil on the end here. And so one thing I wanted to show you guys, this is a passion flower, and it's called Lavender Lady Passiflora vine. I got on a clearance at Lowe's for $4.24, so figured I'd give this a try because it had such an interesting flower. Really beautiful. I don't know if it's going to be hardy here, but I thought, you know, $4, why not give it a chance? And it's putting on growth. It blooms, I think, in the summer, and it says it's full sun to part shade, and it grows 3 to 3.5 meters, or 10 to 12 inches, or sorry, maybe that's feet. It's cold hardy to zone 8, and I thought, why not give it a try, because it has a beautiful flower on it. I'm not really sure where to put it so right now I've just got it here temporarily, and yeah, it's growing. So this is a smaller pot I have. It had indigo blue sapphire clematis in here, and you can see that vine there with the bud. Right there's the bud. So this one actually is a bush type clematis, and last year it was very thick. This year I think it's been kind of bullied out by the other stuff in there, so I might move that, or might plant less in this next year. But this planter just went bonkers. Like, it was just overflowing, and you can see it's a little bit smaller flower, so I think it's Calibrachoa again. But you know, it's end of the season, so you know, that's why it's kind of dry in there and tattered. I stopped fertilizing and watering it as much as I should, so that's still a great looking planter though. And just turning over, so we have, these are two like edible planters that my mom planted up. This one was I think cilantro, which I think those are the white flowers there. It's starting to bolt, which is fine. I think you can actually still use it. And then this plant here was not supposed to, we didn't plant it, so I think it's maybe a broccoli, but I don't see any flower head on it. But in any event, I said just leave it, you know, why not? And then you can see all these disgusting aphids on there, but if they're on here and they're not bothering other plants, it's okay, because it could be a trap plant, because we're not really going to use this plant for anything. So eventually I'll just compost it in the compost. And then here, I forgot, my mom had something planted here that she wanted to go to seed. Something that's used in Indian cooking. I can't remember what it was, but so we just let that one go. These are my bigger pots here. So this has evergreen interest of a dwarf boxwood. Again, we have that lobelia, the blue, which I just love. We have some impatiens in there, and then I threw in a $1 clearance annual salvia, and we have Supertunia Bordeaux, which is doing amazing and looking so lovely. You can see like the blooms are quite a bit bigger than the other flowers, that Calibrachoa in the other pots. And then yeah, back here we do have another petunia, not as vigorous as the Supertunia, but look at that trailing effect. I just love that trailing effect. What a nice sight. And here is another planter, edible planter that my mom has planted up with something for her cooking. Might be rapini, but I'm not really sure. And the last planter I have is this one, which is probably the best and probably gets the most sun. Sweet potato vine, Supertunia Bordeaux. I believe this is a Calibrachoa. You can tell the difference in size in the blooms here. See, this one is quite a bit bigger. And the sweet potato vine is just amazing. Like, look at that color.
The new growth is this lighter green, and then it deepens. I think the more sun it has, the darker it gets. Beautiful, just beautiful contrast, and I have cut that back, but it grows back so much. So yeah, that one's probably the happiest, and I think it's not a coincidence it gets the most sun. It's a beautiful planter, I love it. And then I just wanted to mention these two. These are two jasmine that were houseplants. So we had them in our house. They had spider mites, so we overwintered them. They weren't too happy, so I thought I'd give them a summer vacation and try them outside. And they have just responded so well. So I planted them into these nursery pots and put them here where they would get the most sun. The leaves have improved. They're this nice dark green color. There's so much more growth on them. These are the old buds where it bloomed or is going to bloom. You can see that. And just moving up slowly. I'm trying to make this climb. There you go. So there's some buds here. And these flowers, when they do bloom, they have the most magnificent scent. So jasmine is such an amazing scent. So my plan is to, you know, take these back in as a houseplant because they're not hardy outside. So eventually I'll probably take them in and hopefully they'll bloom for us inside. So that is just the pots that we have outside on the patio that have given us a lot of enjoyment. And some of them are evergreen, the dwarf boxwood, the hinoki cypress, so we'll have some enjoyment in the winter as well. But that is the patio, and hopefully that'll give you some ideas for planters, and if not, at least this will remind me next year when I'm planting these why I do it, because sometimes I'm like, why am I bothering? They're such a pain to water, to fertilize, to cut back, and this is why, because we really enjoy them when they're blooming. And of course edibles, you have to water them a lot, but it's worth it what you get, because you know, basil at the grocery store is ridiculously expensive. All right, thank you for watching.